Yuriy Vaskin, who's going to tell us all about the UGENE workflow designer, flexible control and extension of pipelines with scripts.
Thank you. So hi, my name is Yuriy. I'm actually a student of Novosibirsk State University from Russia. Also, I work as a software engineer in the UGENE company. I'm very happy to be here and tell you something about UGENE, its workflow designer, and the scripting capabilities that it has. So the main point I would like to address in my talk is that integration is the new sexy. You might argue with this general expression, but I think that it's being proved as the conference goes on, and I'm pretty sure that it's true for our lovely young science bioinformatics. There are actually many talented developers in the field who every day come up with the idea on a new genome browser or a tool or a method, but after googling a few minutes they can find out that the tool that they have thought of had been already implemented, and some of them give up in that moment and use the existing tool, and some of them proceed and create yet another instrument. I have no idea why they do that, but for biologists it's result in many different tools for one particular tiny task. So as you know, a typical biological task that is performed with computer involves many different steps. So biologists want to convert the file format, want to apply the algorithm and filter the result a little bit. All these steps involve different algorithms from developers from different countries with different backgrounds, and maybe that's why we create UGENE. To gather together all these different instruments within one program. The UNIPRO company has been developing UGENE for the last 5 years very intensively. It is implemented in C++ language and in Qt framework, which allows us to run UGENE on Linux, Mac, Windows. It has popular algorithm and tools along with our own visualization capabilities. So with UGENE, users can visualize 3D structures, assembly data, multiple alignment sequences, phylogenetic trees, and of course apply algorithms on all these things. It supports reading and writing in more than 20 biological formats. One of the main features of UGENE is its workflow designer. This is our idea of how a workflow management system should look like. Of course, you know the management system like Galaxy or Taverna, but the main difference of UGENE workflow designer from Galaxy, for instance, is that it's run on the local machine. So there is no need to upload the data on the server, and there is no need to pay for the space on the Amazon, and there are no privacy issues. It's up to you to think of the disadvantages. So an interesting question is, how do we handle the data on the local computer? Actually, every sequence that is loaded into the workflow designer is imported into the database. We use SQLite for these purposes. So the workflow element just passes the link in the database on the sequences, and each workflow element can load the whole sequence or just a region on the sequence. That is how we can work with full human genome or with huge 40 gigabytes BAM files on the local computer. Also, for optimization purposes, for instance, if we don't want to import a huge BAM file into the database, we use links to the files. So just the element passes the links to the files, and each element handles the reading of the file by itself, for instance, like SAMtools. To provide an easy interface to set up the parameters, the input and output files for biologists, we created these wizards. And to visualize the results of the workflows of the resulting files and the run process, we created these dashboards for convenience. Also, we wanted to be a part of a bigger system and to allow technical specialists to use algorithms of UGENE workflow designer. That is why we created this API. The core API is implemented in C language. So it allows us to extend this API to any other language like Ruby, Python, Java, JavaScript. Currently we have extended this API for Python only. This is the example of using this API for what we call the single algorithm scheme. So basically it requires only one line of code to launch a simple algorithm, provided that there is an input file and the output file. So just the function takes the name of the algorithm. In that case, this is the search of the repeat. Input file with the sequence and output files where the result will be written into. To provide more interesting options of handle the input and output objects, we also can take Python objects as the input and the output, because everybody loves Python. In that example, we used Python multiple line objects as the input for the scheme. This scheme realigns these objects and outputs the list of multiple alignment by Python objects. Also, sequences with features are also supported. So to sum up, we wanted to gather all the algorithms, popular algorithms, and provide a simple interface for molecular biologists. Also, we wanted to be a part of the bigger system. That is why we have created this API for closer integration with the bioinformatics communities. I hope our developments will be useful for bioinformaticians and for biologists. You can try UGENE out using this link, and you can write in our corporate email or write me directly. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them right away.
Thank you. Questions? So I'm curious, is it possible to integrate my own tools into UGENE as well?
Sure. If your tool supports reading and writing in, for instance, fast on GMonk format, you can integrate it in our workflow designer using the graphical user interface for this purpose. And it will work with with file inputs.
Okay. It'll automatically recognize where my tool is located on my local machine and pick it up. Fantastic.
Now this might sound repetitive, but is it possible to get a performance trace out of what happened in the workflow later? Some history log of what has been executed?
All the workflows are self-documented, and you can see the description of the parameters of the workflow and the description of the element itself. And the dashboard allows you to see the time that it takes this element to be run and possible error messages.
Can you get it out of the system somehow?
Currently, we are moving to the direction of when each run of the workflow is a special folder in your hard drive, and you can see all the data in this folder and load back all the parameters of the run of the workflow.
Was there another question somewhere in the middle? Okay. Thank you very much.